Alrighty, guys, we're going to give everybody a couple seconds to get connected to the stream here. Make sure that they've got their computers and things ready to go. Phones and tablets and computers, oh my. This is called filler, when we just kind of talk about nothing for a couple seconds, so I'm not just sitting here like, because that's no fun. All right, let me get the feed up here so I can see questions as well here. Let's see, live right now. 17 of you have joined us already. All right. Oh, hey, Ron, how you doing? GameStop? Yeah, I ended up losing $300 in GameStop, all said and done. In fact, have you heard about the new, they made an ETF for this called Buzz. The ticker is BUZZ. And what they do with the Buzz ETF is they have an AI that searches through not just Reddit, but all of social media for people discussing what's going on in stocks and everything to detect trends and then purchase those trends before they go big. It's going to be interesting to see it. It opened up around 26. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports talked about it a lot. And then it dropped way down to 23 or something. And I think if it gets down to 20, I'll buy in on it. Anyway, like I said, you don't want to take investment advice from me. I had a conversation with a with a very concerned listener who's a good guy. He was very concerned for us here at Schrock because he says, I'm giving away financial advice on the radio shows and I could get in a lot of trouble for that because, obviously I'm not qualified to do that, which I agree wholeheartedly. I am not. But then again, I was like, listen, it's a public forum. Anybody can listen. I tell you not to follow me. I tell you not to do what I do. I tell you why I don't trade Bitcoin anymore because I always lose. I accumulate. That's all I do now. I stack. If it was gold and silver, they call it, I'm a stacker. I just keep stacking it in my safe. I'm not selling it and buying it. I'm just stacking it. So anyway, if you're going to try to play the meme stock game, probably the best way to do it is through an ETF like Buzz, to be honest. Because even I had trouble keeping up with the Reddit feed. And then, of course, once it became known that was what was going on, Wall Street Bets is probably somebody's old news by now. There's probably a whole nother place to go look for the latest conversations because everyone's looking at Wall Street Bets and everyone's trying to manipulate it. All right. Hello, Mitch. Good morning. Good morning, Winston. Top fan Deborah. Good morning. Schrockville, rise and shine. That's right. All right, Mary, good to have you here. Roger, both of you are there. Karen's there with you, and you're having another cup of coffee. Wow, it's a 2-cup kind of Sunday, isn't it? All right. Ron says, I lost more than that, but luckily the government will be sending me a stimulus check. Isn't America great? And you'll get to deduct your loss, Ron, from when you invest your money with your stimmy, I don't know. Congratulations on the stimulus check. I don't think I'm going to get one. It's the stupid thing is I think it depends where they phase it out. That hasn't been exactly settled yet. So the House passed a bill. The Senate passed a different version of the bill. Now they're going to reconcile. It's going back to the House basically to be reconciled between the House and the Senate to come to a final bill that they will both have to pass again, unless, of course, the House just passes the Senate bill exactly verbatim, which probably won't happen because of all the squad members that are upset that the minimum wage doesn't go up to $15 in there. So anyway, it's fun times. So good morning from from Grand Island. Good morning, Mark. Let's see, Omer, can you recommend a good cloud service? Well, I guess it kind of depends what you want to do. As far as documents and things, any generic cloud, probably the best free one is going to be Google's cloud service, Google Drive. Obviously, it's Google, so you're giving up your freedom to use their free service, basically. Dropbox is another one that gives you a limited amount for free, which is kind of good. You can try Dropbox out, and if you like it, then you can subscribe to it. Otherwise, it's not free for just a little while. They give you like two gigs of space or something for free, but then if you're going to store anything substantial, you need more. Microsoft also has a cloud service that comes built right into your Windows 10 called OneDrive. All you have to take advantage of your OneDrive storage is to have a Microsoft account, and you can also increase the storage there. So I would stick with the basics. I would say OneDrive, I would say Dropbox, or Google Drive, one of those three. Keeping on to After Schrock. There we go. All right. So Bitcoin this week. Where is it at right now? Where is my phone at right now? Let's see. Let's see where Bitcoin is at right this minute, because yesterday it was down, and I was reading articles yesterday that Bitcoin is in a downward channel and is probably heading down to the $43,000 range. Because a lot of the whales, people who have lots of Bitcoin, or individual people, are moving their money back to exchanges. And when whales put money in an exchange, that usually means they're going to sell Bitcoin. And if whales start selling Bitcoin, it takes a lot of MicroBT and Tesla and everything to buy all that, to hoover up all that Bitcoin, which may be happening, but we don't know about it until later. So the immediate effect on the exchanges is the price gets driven down. However, the price right now is trending up. When I read that article, Bitcoin was at about $47,700. Yes, I thought about trading it right there. I really did. That's why I know the exact number. Now it's at $51,200, which is why you don't trade Bitcoin. $51,200 is the current price, up 7% in the last 24 hours. Golly, let's see. So what do you guys think about Dr. Seuss? Yeah, the Dr. Seuss book ban. I thought it was hilarious that for Read America Week, Target bought like literally truckloads of Dr. Seuss books. And they had giant displays in the center of the aisle at Target with the Dr. Seuss books on display. And then all of a sudden, could you imagine if you're like a woke manager at Target and you're like, this is terrible. Oh my goodness. Like all the books, we have to get rid of them, but we have to sell them. Oh boy. Dr. Seuss books on eBay going for $14,000 a book and some craziness. I mean, wow. I'm like raiding my kid's closet for rent money here. Give me where are those books at, kid? You don't need them anyway. I'll tell you this. So we'll photocopy it. It's like if you can't, you're going to have to be trading photocopied Dr. Seuss books in dark alleys because that's just where the world is going right now, right? So we can talk about that if you really want to. Also, in all seriousness, we launched an upgrade sale today on the radio, but you knew that was going to happen because I told you that last week in the After Schrock that we were going to be doing it this week. As a result, it's kind of funny. We didn't sell a lot of computers this week at Schrock. It's almost like people listened and said, I'll wait till next week, Thor. But last week was definitely down for computer sales. Well, we expect this week to be exploding higher. And honestly, we don't know what to expect. I look back historically, the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is the second most popular computer sale we do all year long. The holiday special being the most popular. So we sell fewer of these than we do holiday specials, and we sell 150 holiday specials. And I've got like 40 between the laptop and the desktop together that I can sell. And then after that, I don't know if I can get more. I know I can order more. I just don't know if I will get them in time for the sale to be complete. So we equipped the website to take back orders because at least we figured we could call people and give them the option to say, hey, listen, it's going to be here, but it's going to be here in like 6 weeks. Do you still want it, or do you want a refund? You want a different computer? We can at least give you options then. But if it's something that you wanted to take possession of and trade something in, I would encourage you to take advantage of it pretty quickly. Now, each service center has a display model by the skin of our teeth because the processors just came in 3 days ago, and so we started building. And then our order of Windows 10 licenses, of all things, was late. It was a day late. We got the Windows 10 licenses on Friday. So literally we had the computers built and ready to go, but we couldn't activate them. We couldn't activate the Windows. We couldn't put a $100 sticker, literally it's like a $100 sticker. We couldn't put a $100 sticker on the case saying it's a legit copy of Windows because we didn't have them until Friday. So then we had to rush them all out to the service center. So Parker did a great job making sure all the service centers got their display models, making sure everyone's up for the sale. Each service center got one of each computer to carry in their stores. We have 20 total computers. We're still building. So if you come into a Schrock today and you buy one and they're like, oh, we're out, don't sweat it. We didn't super sell out. We just have to get more from the warehouse out to you because we have to program them, get the stickers on them, get them activated, and get them out the door. The other thing is the laptops that we're offering for the Ultimate Upgrade laptop. The laptops from Asus in their original design aren't that hot. But it's all in the modification, guys. So the hard drive that comes with it is eMMC storage. It's tablet memory, and it runs like a tablet. It's bad. So when we open up those laptops, the reason we selected these, and this is why I was so excited, I ordered one and got it in last month to check it, to see what's what. praying to Jesus that there was a port in there that I could put a hard drive in. Because first of all, 64 gigs isn't enough. They were like, you could always add a micro SD card to expand your storage. Well, that's just reliable as all get out, right? But sure enough, we opened them up, and yes, thank you, there's a port in there that we could install a hard drive. So we have a port that we can put a hard drive actually inside the computer, a real hard drive, a real M.2 SSD, the fastest of the fast hard drives. With that hard drive, that thing flies. So literally, you're getting all the features of a Galant. I was a little worried when we purchased it, actually, because it has the backlit keyboard, it has the fingerprint reader, it has the high resolution monitor that the Galant has, the same panel that the Galant has. It's just as thick as the Galant, so it's literally half the size of the old Resolute. I'm trying to think of what else. It's got the chiclet keyboard. It's got the US. Okay, this is something that's interesting. The USB ports on the side of this computer are USB 3.2. Yes, not 3.0, not 3.1, 3.2. We haven't tested it yet, but in theory that means you should be able to run a monitor from any USB port, which means you could hook up 3 monitors to this thing. Now, it's only got 4 gigs of memory, so you're probably not going to be using it for office productivity and 3 monitors use, right? It's intended for home use. That's its intent. That's the Resolute. That's what the Ultimate Upgrade is. However, you could, if you wanted to. It has a port for an HDMI port on the side. You can hook up a second monitor easily, but you could, in theory, hook up a third monitor to the Type-C USB port and have a 3-monitor laptop. It's pretty amazing stuff. So we were a little concerned that when we released this as the Resolute, it could actually impact our Galant sales because it's got all of the cosmetic features of the Galant. It looks very similar to the Galant. One of the funny things, if you look at the pictures on the website, and I'll post that link here again for you real quick. If you look at the pictures on the website, there's like a yellow outline around the enter key, like they've highlighted that key for some reason. And I have no idea why they did that. It looks kind of stupid. But the enter key has a yellow outline on it, so you know where the enter key is. If hit that enter key, it'll do everything for you. All right, let's jump back into comments here. Thank you, Winston, for the audio check. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Richard. Good to have you on board here. Deborah, hello. Okay. Tough decisions. 2020 Resolute or the 2021 Ultimate Upgrade. Good deals both. Yep, and that's why we're closing out the Resolute. I mean, now you guys can see the grand plan coming together. So if price is your only concern, here are the differences between the Ultimate Upgrade and the 2020 Resolute. The 2020 Resolute has a non-full HD screen. That sounds weird. It does not have an HD screen. That's a better way to say that. The Ultimate Upgrade laptop has an HD screen. The 2020 Resolute has a 2.5-inch solid-state hard drive in it. The Ultimate Upgrade has an M.2 solid-state. It's slightly faster. Literally, it's like 10% faster of a solid-state drive. There are different speeds of solid-states. It's about 10% faster. They both come with 4 gigs of RAM. The Resolute is twice as thick and heavier than the Ultimate Upgrade. The keyboard is not backlit. It does not have a card reader, or excuse me, a fingerprint reader. It has USB 3 ports on it, but not 3.2. So all in all, the Ultimate Upgrade laptop is a superior piece of technology. And it's only $30 more. Or wait, $279, so it's $20 more. It's $20 more, and you trade something in. But if you're looking for the price as your determining factor, you can save an extra $20 by taking a look at the remaining number of I can't think 2020 Resolutes that are on the website. Let me see how many are left here. That's selling for $479. And out of the original 9 that we had, we've got 4 remaining in stock. So you can pick any one of those 4 up and take it home with you. I can tell you that 4 in stock means 4 display models. So they may not have boxes, but they're completely functional. But normally this computer was $599. So you don't have to trade anything in. There's no shenanigans. You just take your new computer and go. But the Ultimate Upgrade is a trade-in deal. So you trade in any computer, and you can trade in any computer. You don't have to trade a laptop for a laptop or a desktop for a desktop. You can trade any computer for any other computer. We don't really care about your trade-in. Honestly, we really don't care about it. I've instructed my staff, If you get contacted by a customer who is outside of Nebraska or Iowa who wants us to ship them the ultimate upgrade, do not make them ship us a piece of garbage computer. Go into the back room, find a recycle that somebody dropped off, and say, yep, this is their computer. Like, we don't care about the recycle. We don't make money recycling computers. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do, number one. And number two, we're converting people away from HPs and away from Dells and away from Acers into Schrock computers. And once you experience it, once you have that Schrock computer, you realize how much longer it lasts and how much more stable and reliable it is. All of a sudden you wonder how you did anything before this. Now, the other thing that's nice here is we've discounted all of the upgrades. So on the desktop, for example, 4 gigs of RAM, you're probably going to want to bump that to 8. It's only $50, okay? So normally it's $75 to do that, okay? So we knocked it down to $50. You know, the 120 hard drive might be a little small for you. So it's $75 to double it. To double it. You go online and you find me an NVMe. The laptop uses NVMe hard drives, the fastest of the fastest M.2 styles. That you find me a 240 gig M.2 drive for $75. That someone's going to install in your computer and program and do everything for you for $75. You won't find it. It's that good of a deal. Golly, what else is there? The only compromise that we made was that the wireless card in the back of the computer is not a wireless AC card. It's the older style wireless N card. And these computers, the desktop does not have Bluetooth, okay? So those are the only compromises that were made in the entire build of the computer. The only thing that's really different from the Resolute or the Boundless computers. Because basically what you're getting is a modified Boundless or what's going to be the new Resolute. So if that makes sense. Let's see. Keeping on after the After Schrock. Plus, the feds are looking at digital currency also. What could go wrong with that? I have to tell you, Ronald, there is some wackadoo stuff, and I debated talking about this on the show today, but there's something really wackadoo going on in the bond market. It's so wackadoo that I still don't understand what's happening. And I mean, I'm not like a financial genius or anything. I'm not trying to say like it's completely nuts because I can't understand it. But I'm going to try to explain a problem to you that I don't know the cause of, but I can see what's happening. All right, so in the bond market, there are people who believe that interest rates are going to go up, right? Because they have been, that they're going to go up. Now, if interest rates go up on bonds that are being issued today, the bonds that you bought yesterday are worth less money because they have a lower interest rate, right? Because the interest rate yesterday was lower than today. So interest rates going up means today's bonds are more expensive and yesterday's bonds lose value. So the cost of bonds is going up because the yield's getting better. But most people don't buy today's bonds. They have yesterday's bonds. So when the yields go up, bonds can go down. See what I'm saying? So people believe that bonds are going to go down in value. A lot of people do. So in the market, you can short. You can say, I'm going to lay a bet that the price of bonds is going to go down in the future. But to make a lot of money doing that, I am going to borrow a bunch of money and use it for leverage. Okay, so I'm gonna use margin. I'm gonna trade on margin. So I get this loan. Let's just say you borrow $1 million from Uncle Scrooge. Now normally you would have to pay Uncle Scrooge a small interest rate, even if it's a pittance. You'd have to pay them something for the use of the $1 million of Uncle Scrooge's money. They haven't canceled Uncle Scrooge yet. It's only a matter of time. But the bond market there are so many people shorting bonds right now that the demand for margin is through the roof. So you would think that would mean that the lenders of margin are collecting better returns, right? But the opposite is happening. Last week, people lending money to people to bet on bonds on margin were paying 4.1% interest. So let me rephrase that here. Uncle Scrooge is loaning you $1 million and he's paying you 4% interest so you can use his $1 million to bet on bonds. How does that make sense? Who's lending the money? That doesn't make sense to me. It's only happened one other time in history. And guess what? It was before a giant bond problem. I don't know enough. Like, guys, I apologize. I am not well read enough to be an authoritative source on this, but I'm just telling you, there's something smelly in Denmark. Okay, something's not going right, and in the bond market, and so I'd be real careful with risk assets right now. That's one of the reasons why people are predicting Bitcoin is going to go down. That's one of the reasons why all the tech stocks have gone down. If interest rates do pop again, the magic number I've heard on Fox Business is 1.6% for some reason. And it got to 1.59 before all of a sudden somebody came in and monkey hammered that rate down. So there's this new thing the Fed's talking about called YCC. You know, quantitative easing is dead. YCC is the new rage. And I'm like, what is YCC? I had to go Google it. I don't know what YCC is. Yield curve control. So under a yield curve control environment, the Federal Reserve says we will buy however many bonds are necessary to ensure that the yield on the bonds remain at a certain interest rate. In other words, don't worry, guys, it's never going to go over 1.6 because the Fed's got your back. We're just going to buy everything to drive the price down, or so that you don't. If we buy all the bonds that are, let's say there's a government bond that's going for 1.8% interest. Well, the federal government comes in and buys them all. Literally, no one can buy bonds at 1.8%. The only bond you can buy is 1.59. So then the government comes in, buys all those. Now the only ones you can buy are like less desirable bonds that pay a lower interest rate, 1.3, right? And that's how they monkey hammer the yield down. It's called yield curve control. And they sound like, hey, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Actually, did you know that Japan has been using yield curve control for some time? They started with quantitative easing, but they switched to yield curve control because it's actually cheaper to implement. Instead of costing you like hundreds of trillions of dollars, it only costs you tens of trillions of dollars. Yay! This can't end well. This can't end well. So anyway, think about that when you're cashing your stimmies. All right, let's see. Banning books is just wrong. It is. That's the thing. I think you can honestly buy Mein Kampf right now on Amazon, but you can't buy Dr. Seuss. It's crazy. Winston says they're erasing our childhood. Nan says good morning. It's just another day. Good morning. Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head, Creighton Basketball, Media Hive, 1% getting 99% of the attention. Isn't that the truth? There's and then meanwhile they took Trump's speech completely off YouTube. His CPAC speech, you can't watch it on YouTube anymore. Don't know why, but it's gone. Well, I know why. Come on, I know why. But why don't they just let everybody say what they're going to say, and then let people decide what they're going to do about it? So I'll be the first to admit, some of the headlines that I read on Liberty Daily are bogus. They are blatantly engineered clickbait headlines intended to outrage me to click the link and read the story to find that the story has nothing to do with the headline. And that makes me angry, and it diminishes the amount of trust that I put into Liberty Daily. It makes me look at everything they put on their little feed and say, yeah, but that might not be true. When they post a ha-ha story from The Onion and they don't put satire, ? In the headline, and I read that headline, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I click on the story, and then I find out it's from The Onion or the Babylon Bee. It's like, okay, this is a satire website. Got it. But if you didn't know that, if you're just reading, you might not realize that. It diminishes the trust, right? So if you're aware of that, I can make decisions accordingly because I am an intelligent human being. Now the problem is most people on the I don't want to get political, so let me just say there's a large subsection of the population who believes that the majority of humanity is very stupid and cannot learn and will never learn and perpetually needs to be taken care of to prevent the smarter people in the environment, aside from them, of course, from taking advantage of those poor people that are too dumb to know any better. The problem is they're really hard to identify. These dumb people hide really, really well in plain sight. The only time we usually see them is when they gather in large places at the Capitol. But since we can't really identify them, we just have to treat everybody this way. And that way we're sure we're not missing any of the poor people that don't know any better, because the smart people will just ignore what we say anyway, and the people who don't know any better, we're just going to take care of them. I find that view repugnant. Yes, there are people out there who don't care about politics. There are people who don't know who the attorney general is or who the vice president is. They used to do the man on the street interviews. Remember that? Like the Letterman would do them and be like, who is this person? They'd hold up a picture of like Donald Trump and they'd be like, I don't know, man. You know, there's always going to be people who are engaged in their own lives to the point where the world around them doesn't matter. The best thing you can do for them is let life kick them in the pants so that they start paying attention to the world around them. You know, if you're walking around the concrete jungle with your face in your phone and you keep falling down manholes that are left open, the solution isn't to put up a fence around the manhole to make sure people don't walk over the manhole while they're reading their phone and fall in the hole. Well, maybe the solution is to put the cover back on. I don't know. But what about the guy in the hole? Does he get jumped on? Like, how does that? What happens to him? You never hear about him. Or are they just leaving them uncovered and walking away for lunch? I don't know. The solution is, you know, pay attention to the world around you, and you won't fall down manholes. You don't get hit crossing the street. Oh, let's see here. Cheryl and Rich, Council Bluffs. Does the new iPad mini need Sophos? Will Sophos allow automatic updates from for-flight program? All right, so Sophos is something you need to be running on every computational device you have, whether it is a iPad or an Android tablet or a Windows tablet or a Windows computer or a Mac or a Linux computer. You need to have Sophos on everything, because if these viruses get into one area of your network, they spread across the entire network and they can do untold damage. So yes, Sophos will run on that device, and yes, when we set that up for you, it allows the programs on your phone to auto update. It doesn't interfere with it scans the programs regularly, because as we've discussed before, one of the ways the bad guys get into phones and tablets, even iPhones, is when you download a legit program, the bad guys come along and buy that company, take over the app, add their malware to it, and then release an update. And then it goes on for weeks before anyone figures out that the new version of the app is infecting people or doing something to their phones. And then once Apple figures it out, they can the app. And by that time, the bad guys have already moved on. So Sophos detects those apps in action and aggregates that data, so it knows before Apple does if an app is acting badly. And then it can advise you that this app is unsafe and recommend that you remove it. But it's not going to just remove apps from your phone. No 17-inch laptop, Barry says. No, we don't carry a 17 in stock. We can order them, but we don't carry a 17. Ever since they went to the 15.6-inch widescreen, the 17s actually went from a 17.1 to a 17.3-inch widescreen, which is massive. So if you're thinking about like the 17-inch laptop from 2015, that's pretty much what the current 15-inch laptop is. If you're thinking 17-inch laptop current, no, we can special order them for you though, just not at the ultimate upgrade price, but we can special order them. The explanation I was looking for, you're taking my money today. Well, Bryce, I don't know. I don't know which explanation maybe for the ultimate upgrade. The difference between the two computers. That's what it was. Got it. Taking your money today. Well, you know, if you choose the ultimate upgrade, one thing, guys, that one of the cool features of the ultimate upgrade laptop is that you can put an internal backup hard drive in it. That is very rare in a laptop these days, especially one at a sub $500 price point. Take advantage of that. I think it's like, it's $50 to put in a 64 gig backup drive. I mean, it's worth it. Okay, trust me, it's worth it. You will thank me if your hard drive ever fails. You will thank me. Solid state hard drives are amazing. They last longer. They're more reliable. They're wicked fast. But when they fail like a light switch. It's on and then it's off. There's no warning. There's no clicking. There's no degraded performance. They just die. Having a backup is essential when you have a solid state hard drive. And because this laptop actually has the capability to do that, the 2021 Ultimate Upgrade, let us put it in for you, please. Otherwise, you have to get an external, and you can still do a backup. It's just a lot less convenient. Oh, speaking of which, there's a boat sailing toward us right now with new Schrock hardware goodies in it. Yeah, we're excited. We'll tell you all about that coming up. You're going to be pretty stoked about it too, I think. It's going to be neat. All right. So is the internal hard drive for the 2021 laptop upgradable? Yes, it is. The laptop hard drive is upgradable. It can go from, it comes with a 120 or a 128. We say a 120, but it's usually a 128. Then you can go up to a 256. You can go up to a 512. You can go up to a terabyte. And so after a terabyte, we custom quote it because those laptops do take the ultra fast NVMe hard drives, and they do start to get, they're different price. They're more expensive hard drives than your standard M.2 hard drive that we would put in a different computer. So basically, the hard drives, it's the least expensive computer in our lineup, and it comes with the most expensive, fastest hard drive that you can put in a computer. It's a 2020 cornucopia of COVID irony to celebrate our first week of abnormality. I missed your comment. Is the extra $50 on the laptop for an extra 4 gigs of memory? You cannot upgrade the memory on the laptop. The laptop will forever be 4 gigs of memory. There is no changing it or updating it. You can update the hard drive storage, but not the memory. So I want to be real clear on that. $50 to add the backup hard drive to the computer, and then it's like $75 if you want to double the size, the storage of the hard drive, to go from 128 to 256. That's a pretty good deal. All right, you saw that too in the cart. Okay, is there an error in our cart? I'll check into that. I'll look at that to make sure no one's asking for extra memory. Stupid. Do you mean people driving their cars with masks on, asking for a friend? You know, my son, when the whole COVID thing was getting started, he went through a phase where he would get in his little, he had one of those like little tight cars, you know, and it's like the little blue truck. It's a little pickup truck because Dad had a blue truck then, so he thought he wanted a blue truck. So he got in the little blue truck and he put his blankie over his head. He looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost, and he had his hands on the wheel, but he could see through the holes in the blankie, like through the weave, and so he'd be driving around the house with a blanket on his head. And I took a picture and I said, people driving with masks be like that. So it was kind of funny, but yeah, that's. Are you going to do a Bitcoin class? Yes, I'm going to do it. Given everything I had going on this week, I didn't have time to do it. So it's not going to be a class per se. It's going to be more of a informational presentation. The reason it takes a little bit longer, if I just sat here and did it, guys, I could do it right now. But it needs a little bit more production than that. So we're going to want to have camera switches to show you graphs and charts and things. We're going to want to have places where the links are saved so you don't have to try to write them down. So here's what you do step 1, here's what you do step 2, here's what you do step 3. The reason also is, this isn't really what we do, guys. The Bitcoin stuff, it's cool, it's fun, and you guys enjoy it, and I get a kick out of doing something that you enjoy. So, and I enjoy talking about it, obviously. But it's not what Schrock does, right? So I don't want to waste a ton of airtime on the actual radio show promoting it. But if we're going to promote it, I just want to be in full disclosure. Every single link I give you, I'm going to get an affiliate commission for. So that takes a little time to set up. And it's nothing special. So it's like if you sign up for a BlockFi account, I get $20 after you put $100 in. If you sign up for the Bitcoin Rewards credit card, which is something I would recommend getting on the wait list for, I don't actually get anything for that. It just moves me ahead in the line, which I'm not even sure it matters because there's only like 120,000 people in the line, right? Little things like that. So I want to make sure all the links are legit, that all the things I'm recommending are solid, and then we can go forward. So if you're going to open a Coinbase account, here's how to do it. Here's a link so you don't end up at coinbases.com or something weird, right? Make sure everything's on the level. And I do have to disclose that the links, some of the links will be affiliate commission links, some of them won't be, but some of them will be. I appreciate it if you use my links, I really do. But either way, I'm going to get it put together for you. I will try to get it done in the next couple weeks. We have to call 1,700 people this week, guys. I don't know if Shelly's going to be able to do that on her own. Plus, we've got Safe Upgrade is coming. They're updating. We got to get everybody current, and the moment after we get everybody current, then we have to tell them, hey, there's another one coming. Your computer didn't install the last one, so you sure you don't want this too? I just paid you $85. Now you want $55 more? Yeah. So it's one of those things where your computer didn't install the last one or the last 3, and you think it's going to magically work this time? No. So anyway, it's there's a lot going on this month, guys. It's pretty hectic. So it's going to be a challenge. But at least it's not COVID, right? Speaking of open manholes, what do you get when you drop a piano down a mine shaft? A flat miner. How do you spell that? Rosa asks. Rosa, I'm not sure what you want me to spell. Let me know, and I'll help you out with that. I was in the shop for a preventative maintenance. Had the staff remind me of Sophos from my phone. Had the staff reminded you of Sophos from your phone, you would have done it. You know, that's a good idea. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is, part of the challenge is my staff loves to take care of people, but some of them are just not comfortable selling stuff. So in their mind, there's a difference between a customer comes in and they have a bad hard drive or a bad power supply. They need to fix that. Like, that needs to get fixed for the computer to be reliable. Well, they also need security software in order for the computer to be reliable. But they don't like, they'll tell you about your bad hardware, we got to fix it, we got to put a part in, and then they don't mind selling that. But then I'm like, well, why their version of Windows 10 is out of date? You didn't tell them to pick up. I can't tell you how many people came into the service center and said, I was just in the Omaha Service Center like a week and a half ago, and they didn't update my version of Windows 10 or tell me about it. And I'm like, they didn't tell you about that? And so then we had a staff meeting. I'm like, why aren't you guys doing this? This is like an important security thing. And they're like, well, Thor, Windows does it automatically, so we don't want to charge somebody for something that Windows is going to do automatically. So, on one hand, I applaud them for looking out for the financial interest of our customer as well. Number two, I question their sincerity a bit, because that update should have installed automatically in November. If it hasn't installed automatically by February, I don't think it's going to. So yeah, we had a little training point on that one. So it's always good. This is a great suggestion. What we could do is we can update the movies that play, the videos that play on the screens in the service centers to basically say, have your phone with you? Do you have Sophos on it? Let us do that for you now. We could do that thing like they do, like, if you didn't get a receipt, call this phone number. So anyway, thank you for the suggestion. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Can you put a backup hard drive in the other laptops you sell? Okay, so internally, inside the Gallant, there is a port for a hard drive. However, they do not give us a bracket to mount the hard drive. So we have to buy the bracket. So there's a port for it, but there's no bracket. So yeah, the answer is sometimes, Blake. And then we have to order a bracket in for it, and the brackets are kind of tough to find because they're not sold individually. They only come from people's scrapped laptops where the other hard drive is removed. So yeah, the other thing is, it's a solid state, it's skinny, it's light. We could use a piece of double-sided, like a piece of 3M sticky tape, and it isn't going anywhere. That's another option we can do too. I've seen some interesting mounting solutions during our solid state upgrade special. When you're putting a solid state in a computer that wasn't intended to have a solid state, they don't always give you a great place to mount it. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, well, I wasn't going to blame you, Kim. Yeah, it's been a little busy this week because my wife had carpal tunnel surgery on her dominant right hand. So as you can see, no red marks, no slapping. You can't do it. No, but it's crazy, all the things you can't do all of a sudden when you only have one hand. And she's a tough woman, and so she doesn't like to complain about pain, or she has such a high pain tolerance, she never really complains about pain. And this week she's been complaining about pain, which tells me I would be curled up in the fetal position, rocking back and forth, popping tramadol or whatever they gave her like they were M&Ms, because no, if it's knocking Kim on her butt, it's not for Thor. No. Nope. She's taking Tylenol. They gave her a narcotic. She's like, I'm worried it's going to upset my stomach. I'll take 2 Tylenol and 2 Motrin and, see what that does. She's a tougher person than me, let me tell you what. When the ultimate upgrade is in the cart, it has a $50 option that you could not uncheck. Be this as it may, you're still getting the money plus the $50. The $50 option is the backup drive. And you can uncheck it. It's checked by default. I have to tell you guys, the solid-state hard drives that you're getting in the Ultimate Upgrade laptops are phenomenally fast. Like, boom fast. but they fail like a light switch. I want you to have a backup drive. So I asked Alfonso when he coded that to automatically check that option on when that page comes up. You can still uncheck it. So if you go back, you can uncheck it. But you can uncheck it. Just check by default. All right, I'll take out the video in a bit, Tom. All right. What other questions do we got here today? When is the right time to upgrade your computer? All right, we'll wrap up with this one, guys. In a nutshell, it's time to upgrade your computer when your computer is no longer capable of safely doing what you need it to do. So, for example, the caller who called in who had Windows Vista on his computer has not been safe for some time. Windows Vista cannot be made safe. Windows 7 cannot be made safe. If you're running either one of those, you need a new computer. Or you need to get an upgrade to Windows 10, which was his question. Can I upgrade this one to 10 or should I buy a new one? The answer is he should buy a new computer, number one. Number two, so there comes a point when your computer can no longer do the things that you want it to do in a reasonable way. So we've all had that experience where you click the start menu and you wait 30 seconds and then it finally opens and then each icon comes on one at a time. And then you click on a program and you sit and you wait. You go make a sandwich, you bring your sandwich back, you eat your sandwich, and then the program is open. That is unreasonable. That is a computer that either badly needs a solid state upgrade or a computer that's ready to go to the happy recycling land. Because that's a Sadoff donation right there. We need to get rid of that thing. So your computer is ready for an upgrade when it won't do what you need it to do safely anymore. Of course, cosmetic reasons, physically broken is another reason a lot of computers get upgraded, especially laptops. Desktops, not so much. Desktops tend to have a longer shelf life because of that. People keep their desktops for an average of 2 years, whereas they keep laptops for an average of 18 months. That's a national average, by the way. We keep them a little bit longer in Nebraska. But here's the thing this is what's going to be crazy, guys. Those of you who are like, Thor, I don't need a new computer. I got a new computer last year when COVID hit. Guess what? You have had that computer now for a full year. Does it feel like that? That desktop's supposed to last you 2 years total. If it's a laptop, it's supposed to last you a year and a half. And that's a year and a half or 2 years as a home user. But you've been working from home. You've been pushing that computer. You've been slamming that thing. And I bet you haven't had a lick of preventative maintenance done to it because it's too important. You can't go without it. I'm telling you, get it in for preventative maintenance. Right now, all 4 service centers have open bench spots. This time of year, things slow down a little bit for us. So it's a lot easier to get in and get out quick. But we can't guarantee a turnaround time, but usually we're within 24 to 48 hours. So if you can bring it in, Friday after work and you don't need it Saturday, we can get it back to you by Sunday. You're good to go for Monday. I can't promise that, obviously. We do have expedite services available. If you must have it back by then, it's $50 to expedite it. But then, we do work on it start to finish with one tech, straight through, doesn't leave its side, moves it as fast as possible. We are going to see in about 6 to 8 months one of the biggest e-waste events in the history of mankind. Because all of those computers are going to flip and break. They're all going to go bad. And when they go bad, they're going to be stupid things that can be easily fixed. A power supply, a hard drive, a fan. But people have been conditioned to just throw these things away, so they're just not going to bring them in. And I'm telling you, if you get proper maintenance so we can catch those things before they become a problem, there's no reason those computers shouldn't last you 4 years. No reason at all. And if you had to compromise on a piece of junk laptop because of COVID and there were no laptops, we can upgrade that piece of junk laptop to make it a nice laptop. Or you could just trade it in. The ultimate upgrade is here for you. Trade it in, get the ultimate upgrade, you're good to go. Again, the ultimate upgrade is not a good computer to work from home from, the laptop anyway. The desktop could be upgraded, it just needs a little more memory and you can work from home on it. But 4 gigs of RAM is a little light for work from home use. So that's, guys, number one, that is when you should upgrade your computer and why you should upgrade it. And that's just a word of warning to anybody out there who started working from home because of COVID and bought a new computer because of COVID last March. I literally in our staff meeting, we talked about it. Guys, in the next 6 months, maintenance checkups are going to be more important than anything we've ever done. Because if people don't get those things maintenance, they're going to blow up. And when they blow up, it's going to be tears all over again, because how many people working from home are saving things the way they're supposed to be saving them? Or are you saving them on your local hard drive? Do you have a backup? Did you think about that? It's when that computer goes down, it's going to be, oh my gosh, all of my work from work is gone. And I don't have an IT person at work to call to blame for this. It's my fault, because it's BYOD, bring your own device. This is scary. Let us help you. That's what we do. And there's going to be a lot of people who need a lot of help, and there's going to be a lot of tears when, hard drives fail and things like that. All right, so last check for comments here before I wrap. Scrolling. Dang, just got here. Always miss the show these days. Being a productive working person has its downside. Paul, I hear you clucking, big chicken. The good news, though, is this video archives on Facebook, so you can watch it anytime on Facebook. Also, we do, if you don't do the Facebook thing, which obviously you do because you're here, but if you don't do the Facebook thing, we put the videos on our website. We share them on Rumble. We share them on YouTube. So they're pretty much everywhere you can put video, and you can check them out. You can subscribe to the podcast through Apple if you have an Apple device. So podcast it and deliver every single video we do right to your amazing little fruity device. All righty. I'll say hi. I'll say hi to my mom for you, Ronald. Reminds me of my 300 baud modem. I was able to read the text as it was sent on the screen, no graphics, and we thought we were big time. Yeah, I remember downloading pictures from NASA on a 14.4 modem. It was bad. It wasn't 300 baud, it was 14,000, but still, literally, at the end of the month, we did it at my friend's house because, I'm not stupid. You're calling the NASA BBS in Florida long distance and downloading things over. You're basically faxing yourself high-resolution photos. Yeah, it took forever. And his dad got the phone bill at the end of the month, and it was like $80 of charges in 1980s money. $80 of charges for long-distance calls to Florida. And he's like, what is this? And we were like, oops. Yeah, but the pictures of Mars were really cool. So anyway, all right, guys. Thank you for joining us for the show. I appreciate you sticking around for the After Schrock. Please, if you would, tell your friends and family about the Ultimate Upgrade Special. It would mean a lot to me. If you hear of somebody who's looking for a computer, or you see somebody on Facebook complaining about their computer, let them know about the Ultimate Upgrade. If it's not the right computer for them, if they're going to be working from home, for example, heavily on it, we'll tell them that. We will take care of them. So if you send us your friends and your family, we will take care of them. We will sell them what they need, not more than they need, just what they need, and we'll sell it to them in the most efficient way possible. So I appreciate your referrals. I appreciate your word of mouth and your 5-star reviews. They mean the world to us. And thank you for joining us for the show. I can't believe I had 81 people here, and we hardly even talked about Bitcoin. All right, we'll see you guys all again next weekend. I'll say hi to Mom for you all. Have a great